And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Come on, everybody. Here we go.
106 miles to Chicago. We got a full tank of gas, half a pack of cigarettes. It's dark, and we're wearing sunglasses. Hit it.
Oh, boys! I'm back!
Well, hello everyone and welcome to another episode of the Film Box Podcast Duo Edition. The OG lineup is back. Ladies and gentlemen, we're here. How you doing, Connor? It's me and Connor. I'm your host. I should probably say that. I'm the host, Aaryn Souza. I'm here with Connor. It's just the two of us. How you doing?
Mm-hmm. I'm doing good. I'm doing great. How you doing?
Doing all right. It's been a morning.
It has. Both of us, I assume.
Yeah, I mean, me, it was kind of just like a lot of nothing. But yeah, you seem to have quite a morning.
Yeah, it was definitely something. So my girlfriend Aaryn is on her way right now to her grandmother's.
Mm.
And we're both in the bathroom, and all of a sudden, I was like on my phone, and I just hear a pop, and I see a bright flash.
Oh God.
She had her curling iron plugged in, and I don't know what happened, but the thing almost blew up,
Oh God.
like in her hands.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Luckily, it didn't. She unplugged it. Nothing like caught on fire.
That's
Thank
good.
God. But that was one of the scariest things to
Damn.
like happen to me and her personally.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, we got an awesome episode today. We're gonna be doing a little Pixar movie tier list, and I think this is kicking off a bit of a Disney Pixar themed month that we're going to leading into Christmas time. So kicking it off this week, we're doing a Pixar movie tier list. We've done a Pixar movie draft in the past, and that was like way back in September of last year.
I thought it was more recent than that.
It was not.
As you get older, time starts to slip away from you.
But before we do that, we got to talk about what we've been watching lately. Connor, I'm going to kick it off this time because I know you've probably seen a few movies.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I have seen 4 movies since we last recorded. I watched Transformers 1 finally. Oh, also I need to point out too, when I look at my ratings, the 4 movies that I saw, all 4-star movies. But also the 2 movies prior to that were 4-star movies. So it's
Nice.
like I've been on a heater of solid movies lately, so we'll see if that continues. But I watched Transformers 1. I was really impressed. I've never really gotten into Transformers at all in my life. You know, I didn't really watch the animated series. I was not really big into the Michael Bay movies. But this one I really liked. And I was able to really follow along the story and how it was going without having seen anything about it prior, really. So I appreciated that. Rewatched Snack Shack, which is just really excellent. So much fun. Em and I went and saw Saturday Night, the Saturday Night Live movie starring Gabriel LaBelle.
Because do a little Gabriel
Oh,
LaBelle
dude,
double feature.
I'll tell you what, man. The more I watch him in movies, I mean, this dude is like headed for superstardom. He is phenomenal, and in Saturday Night, he's really good.
Who is he in that?
He's Lorne Michaels. He plays Lorne Michaels. Yeah, he is like the main character. And he did really, really well. So yeah, I cannot wait to see what else. I have to go back and watch The Fabelmans now because I need to see more of them. And then finished off on Halloween. I watched the greatest Halloween movie you could probably watch. That's right, it's Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Because that's a Halloween movie, right?
It gets pretty scary.
First time I've ever seen it, so I wanted to watch it.
What you drinking there, buddy? Too.
Oh, I'm taking after you today.
Yeah.
Sparkling ice energy because they've got a flavor that I'm interested in trying. Power Punch. This is my first time. I just cracking it open.
Live reaction on the pod.
It is good. It's more subtle than I expected. It's got like more tropical notes than I thought it would. You know, I was expecting like red Kool-Aid kind of vibe.
You were expecting a power punch flavor.
I was.
Like a subtle
And it's not as
subtle
caffeinated.
tickle.
It's not as caffeinated or not caffeinated. Like
Carbonated.
carbonated. Thank you. That's the word. As I would have expected.
Yeah. No, I do like those because
not
I've been
bad.
on their wild berry one and it's very good.
Yeah, no, that's good. It actually does kind of have like a Hawaiian punch, red Hawaiian punch flavor to it. All right, well, that's what I've been watching lately. Connor, what about you?
So finished up the 31 days of horror. So the last like movie batch of movies were the 80s. So I watched Angst,
Mm.
really good like analysis of a serial killer. But some moments of it just did not work for me. Like it was just besides the killer, I thought it was kind of poorly acted. Um Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. That movie's pretty fun, very campy. I feel like it has all the makings of a good family movie, but it is not for your family.
Mm.
That's all I'll say about that.
Interesting.
I watched The Fly. That movie's great.
Mm. Is
It's
that first
one of the
time?
best.
First time for
First
that?
time.
Nice.
All the movies on the 31 days are first timers.
Oh, nice.
I watched The Blob. That movie is awesome. Like that's got all the 80s charm that like you could ever hope for. Then I watched Donnie Darko. Because then I was like, you know what? Let me start picking off some movies on my watch list because I need to get back to that. And it still fit the horror theme. So I was like, you know what? Let's go. I watched Don't Move, which is the Sam Raimi produced thriller on Netflix.
Yeah, what'd you think?
It's exactly what you think a Netflix thriller would be.
Okay.
My review's out now. You could read it. It's very
Mhm.
surface level in like every aspect.
Mhm.
Like thrills aren't that good. The emotions aren't that good. The acting is very good. Like Finn Wittrock is very good as the killer. Let me just pull up her name so I don't get it wrong. Kelsey Apsil. She's really good as the protagonist because she has to do so much acting without moving.
Yeah.
She was really good in it too, but that's kind of it. Like,
Yeah.
so read the review. It's out now.
Good
Then
plug.
gotta do it.
Mm.
Me and my beautiful girlfriend Aaryn watched We Live in Time.
Oh,
'Cause
you
it was-
finally saw it.
Yeah, it was the last day it was out in my theater, and I was like, I gotta see it.
What'd you think?
And I have not been able to stop thinking about it.
Mm.
And I thought it was really good. I thought, for whatever reason, the non-linear storytelling just didn't work for me.
Yeah.
Which
Well,
is a
you've always it's kind of been your thing. Like you've not really connected to non-linear
Well,
as
no,
often.
that's Sam's thing.
Oh, is that Sam's thing? Well,
Sam
I'm wrong.
hates non-linear. I'm fine with it, but like even in my Letterboxd review, I was like, this could have been an all-timer because like it was perfectly acted.
Oh my
all the
God.
emotions were perfect, but I thought it was just too like out of sync.
Yeah, no, I get that.
But yeah, I've been thinking about it ever since. Probably I will go see it again, or I will find it again.
Oh yeah.
Then for the last batch of the 80s horror, I watched The Lost Boys. Incredibly good vampire flick. And on Halloween, there goes the cat. I watched Black Swan. Can you guess what the theme was for that pick?
Halloween.
No. It was, I just went to Letterboxd, went to horror, most popular, first one that I hadn't watched.
Nice. I love it.
Um,
Was it?
and
Would
then
you say it was actually horror?
it was pretty good. Like, yeah, psychological horror,
Got it.
very good in that regard. Um, and last thing I watched was last night. I watched Will and Harper, the documentary with Will Ferrell and Harper Steele.
Mm-hmm.
That was really good too.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely recommend it.
Very nice. And what are you drinking today?
I got this clear and sparkling wild cherry seltzer.
Mm.
Pretty good. Nice liter of it.
Yeah. Now, before we get into the tier list, and I've got a game for you to play, I just wanted to I wanted to talk about something real quick. And I don't know if I don't remember if we talked about it on the podcast or not, but I think it's a good time to bring back our segment of what's pissing my gears.
Yeah.
Have you heard about everything going on with juror number 2?
Yes.
Did we talk about that on the pod?
Yeah.
Okay, so we talked about it on the pod. Long story short, juror number 2 being fucked by Warner Brothers.
Mm-hmm.
It's potentially Clint Eastwood's last movie, and they announced that it was only going to be releasing in less than 50 theaters across the entire United States, and then they were just going
like 3 states.
Yeah, they were going to drop it on Max. Well, today, just before we started recording, there was an update that Warner Brothers reversed course and is now giving the movie a limited an awards run in theaters. And to that I say, bravo, not to Warner Brothers, because they fucked up, to the audience for saying this is a movie that we need to see.
Well, kudos to Clint Eastwood, because everything I've seen is the movie is very good.
Yeah. Except for one commenter on my TikTok who said, this movie is terrible and doesn't deserve awards.
You know, I guess you gotta yank it.
Gone. That's David Zaslav's burner account.
Could you imagine?
Oh my god, that'd be so funny.
After this whole 76ers incident where like their GM it was their GM had a burner account and was like trashing their own players.
Yeah,
I've had a conspiracy that every
they all have to.
Rich, every studio head, every rich person has a burner, and it's just like
the Deshaun Watson burner.
Oh yeah, MLB executive burner is just like a GM who's just like, hey man, maybe the Red Sox should spend money, and it's just like John Henry.
Yeah. Have you guys ever thought about the money that John Henry isn't putting in his pockets by spending it on the team?
You know, he's actually a great guy.
Oh my god. Anyways, this is not our baseball podcast. But
never existed.
I gotta say, I said it in my original TikTok when I was talking about the initial situation with this whole movie, is that it should not be, these sorts of decisions should not be up to executives in boardrooms and guys in suits to determine what goes to limited theatrical runs, what goes to, just direct to straight, unless you sign a deal that is, okay, we're signing a deal to make this a streaming movie. That's one thing. But if you're a company that's putting money behind a project and then you say, well, we don't really believe in this, and so we're only going to let a few people see it, and then we're just going to drop it on streaming, and it's going to do what it's going to do. That's just not the right way to approach it. It's the audience that gets to decide, that should be the ones to decide, is this movie worth our money or time? And at this point, too, Warner Brothers has already put money into it. So, like, they're already basically forfeiting a profit by doing what they were going to do. So why not just let it, run? And then you get an instance like this where the movie's got a 93% on Rotten Tomatoes and people love it. And it's like, oh shit, now we got to release it. We got to release it more. It's like people love it. It's like, just let the audience decide that. They'll tell you if it's good or not. I don't know.
And listen, if it's bad, yank it.
Yeah, right. Don't
Like-
let it. Yeah.
Like a good movie can be on can be in theaters for months
Mm-hmm.
and no one has an issue. Joker was out in theaters for like 2 weeks.
Yeah, and then they
And
were like,
it's been released.
gone.
And no one has an issue with it.
Yep.
So like, yeah, if people show up for it, let them.
Yeah.
But let that be their decision.
Yep.
Yeah.
But anyways, that's my rant. I'm glad that they've reversed course, but it never should have been an issue in the first place. Are you ready to play a game?
Can I just say one last thing on
Yes.
the pissing? So I haven't seen it yet, but Historians versus Ridley Scott we're back for round 2 with Gladiator 2.
Yeah.
And I personally I don't care. But it's just so funny that it's the same freaking argument every single time. It's like, hey Ridley, these rhinos that were in the movie, they actually wouldn't exist at the same time. These bistros wouldn't be in Rome at this time. And Ridley Scott's just like, hey buddy, you weren't fucking there.
It's a movie.
Don't tell me what I can and can't put in my movie.
I love it. Ridley Scott just doesn't care. He really
Yeah.
doesn't.
It's just like, it's a losing battle every single time. Like, because what do you, as a historian, I get it. It's kind of like your civic duty. Just be like, hey, that's not true.
Yeah.
But at the
And
same
I
time,
get
it's
it.
like,
I get it in some veins for like if you're making a movie about Napoleon and you show Napoleon bombing the Great Pyramids. Yeah, okay, we're kind of taking some liberties there. But
this is Gladiator 2.
Yeah,
It's
this
not-
doesn't exist. This was
Exactly.
not a real thing.
This would be like if they went up to like Prometheus and they're like, hey, so on this planet, the formula for gravity would actually have this spaceship falling at a much faster rate.
Yeah.
I think Ridley Scott would just pull a gun on them at that
Yeah.
point.
It'd be like going to Star Wars and saying, yeah, but we really don't have the means to do interstellar space travel at light speed. And it's like, get out of here. No one cares.
Hey, so how did the lightsabers?
Actually, you wouldn't be able to have a solid tube of plasma that has an endpoint because technically it's like, get out of here. Go.
Yeah. No, it's just a funny fight every single time.
Yeah. All right.
Especially for Gladiator 2.
I know, right? I've got a little game for you to play. So it relates to what we're doing here. This is a game called Which Movie Won Best Animated Feature at the Oscars. So
Ready.
I need you to tell me. I will do each movie.
Is it like a this or that, or is it?
No,
like
it
you're
is
gonna
it
give
is
me the
multiple
whole
choice. It is multiple choice.
slate? The handy dandy notepad out.
So, what movie won in 2001, the first year of the Best Animated Feature category? Was it
Okay.
Jimmy Neutron Boy Genius, Shrek, Monsters Inc., or Scooby-Doo and the Cyber Chase? And I believe these are all the actual nominees. I think. I don't know for sure.
What was the third one? Shrek and Monsters Inc.
Monsters Inc. and then Scooby-Doo and the Cyber Chase.
All right, we're crossing out Jimmy Neutron and Scooby Doo. It's either Shrek or Monsters Inc. And I'm gonna guess Shrek.
That is correct.
Whew.
Number one, you got 1 out of 1. All right, what movie won in 2002? Was
Okay.
it Ice Age, Lilo and Stitch, Spirit, Stallion of the Cimarron,
Oh, I love Spirit.
or Spirited Away?
I think it's probably Spirited Away.
Yeah, that is correct. We're giving you some freebies here. All right, number 3. Can you guess
know,
where we're going here?
That was a tough one up until that one. I was like, okay, like this is, there's no Timmy Turner and
Yeah.
Jimmy Neutron crossover here.
Yep. All right. What movie won in 2003? Was it Brother Bear, The Triplets of
Oh,
Belleville,
hold on,
Sinbad?
hold on.
Oh God.
What was the second one?
The Triplets of Belleville.
Triplets. I don't even know why I'm writing this down. It's not that one.
Yeah. Sinbad
Okay.
or Finding Nemo.
Okay, so it's either Brother Bear or Finding Nemo. And I will guess Finding Nemo.
That is correct. We've got some easy ones for you, but we're getting a little bit harder with number 4. What movie won in 2004? Was it Shrek 2, Shark Tale, the SpongeBob SquarePants movie, or The Incredibles?
Oh man, I remember when we did our our Shark Tale. Our Shark Tale review. I remember making a joke about what won that year. I don't. I might have been Shark Tale now that I think about it. So it was Shrek 2, Shark Tale, SpongeBob movie,
And The Incredibles.
SpongeBob, Incredibles. Oh boy, that's hard. Yeah, that's tough. I might do the Hail Mary and go.
I need an answer.
I don't think it was Incredibles. I don't think it was. Oh man, I'll go Shrek 2.
It was The Incredibles.
Damn it.
All right.
Okay, as long as it wasn't Shark Tale.
It was not Shark Tale. What movie won in 2005? Was it Wallace and Gromit: The Curse of the Were-Rabbit, Corpse Bride, Madagascar,
Madagascar,
or Howl's Moving Castle?
Howl's. I will guess Howl's Moving Castle.
You would be incorrect.
So Wallace and Gromit.
It is Wallace and Gromit: The Curse of the Were-Rabbit. All right, we've got 2006 now. This is another tough one. We've got Cars, Happy Feet, Monster House, and Over the Hedge.
Not all of them are winners. Monster House.
You're on a 2-question skid now. Can you turn it around?
I don't think people liked Happy Feet as much. Monster House, I don't think got a lot of love either. So it's either Over the Hedge or Cars. Shit. Fuck.
It's a tough choice.
Yep, it's a toughie. Crap on a stick. I will guess Happy Feet.
Wow, out of nowhere. That is the correct answer. It is Happy Feet.
Oh, thank God.
Wow.
I know that was George Miller from the Mad Max.
Yeah.
And I was like, I remember that being like a focal point of like when people would be like, oh, he did Furiosa, Mad Max,
Happy Feet.
One of these movies won an Oscar.
All right, what movie won in 2007? Persepolis, Surf's Up.
Oh, Jesus Christ, hold on.
Honestly, you really don't even need to write them down.
Okay. It's just for my memory.
Persepolis, Surf's Up, Ratatouille, Meet the Robinsons.
Oh, yeah, Ratatouille.
That's correct. All right, we got 2008. Wall-E.
We're doing it all the way up.
We're going all the way into 2021.
Are you serious?
I've got all the way to. I mean, we can stop whenever.
Jesus
maybe I'll
Christ.
save the second half for next week.
Yeah.
All right, we'll go up to 2010. All right, What movie won in 2008? Was it Wall-E, Kung Fu Panda, Tinkerbell, or Bolt?
There's a Tinkerbell movie.
Yep.
Well, it's not that one. Kung Fu Panda and Wall-E. Those are the only two I remember you said.
Tinkerbell and Bolt.
Yeah, see, this is why I need to write them down. But Wall-E was on my favorite movies list, so I gotta go Wall-E.
Yeah, and you would be correct. It is Wall-E.
Let's go.
All right, this one might be the hardest one. 2009.
Let's call it after this one because this is.
Well,
I'm
I can
sweating.
do up to 2010. So we got
Okay,
two more.
That's fine.
Okay. 2009, the nominees are Princess and the Frog, Up, Fantastic Mr. Fox,
Oof.
and Coraline.
Oof. Okay. All right. I don't think it's Princess and the Frog. I think it's a good movie, but I don't think it's anywhere near these three.
Really?
Coraline, yeah. I think Coraline might be a bit too niche. Fantastic Mr. Fox and Up. I think it's Up because I feel like people would kill for that movie.
You would be correct. It is Up. Way to suss that one out. All right, and the last one here, 2010. Your nominees are The Illusionist, How to Train Your Dragon, Toy Story 3, and Megamind.
Megamind. What was the second one?
How to Train Your Dragon.
How to Train Your Dragon. HTTYDOD. Had an extra OD there. All right. So I've never heard of The Illusionist.
Yeah.
So that I will have to knock you out. I feel like Toy Story 3 is house money at this point. So that's probably the pick, but I feel like How to Train Your Dragon is also could have upset it. Megamind's definitely out.
What's wrong with Megamind?
Nothing. It's just not.
It's not the other ones.
It's not Toy Story 3 or How to Train Your Dragon. So I'll go Toy Story 3.
That is correct. You've sussed it out. You've gone 8 for 10. Not bad. We'll see next week. Next week, we'll do from 2011 to 2021, and we'll see if you and Sam can equal or best your scores. Wonderful. So, are you ready now to do the tier list?
Yeah.
We've wet our palates. We've talked enough. Let's do the tier list. All right. Actually, you know what? Here. From Young Frankenstein.
Yeah, this totally fits the vibe.
Yeah, it does. No, all right. All right. So, let me share my screen here for you. And so the people at home can see. So, we've got a few categories. Our top category is To Infinity and Beyond. Of course. It's got to be the best one. The next one we've got You Gave Me Something People Search for Their Whole Lives, which is from Elemental. So if you see a theme going here, that is true. I've never disappointed anyone before because nobody's ever expected anything of me is our middle tier, our very average tier. That is from Ratatouille. Linguini says that in Ratatouille. Put That Thing Back Where It Came From or So Help Me from Monsters, Inc. That is our below average tier. And then instead of pee pee poo poo this month, we went with a quote from our good friend Forky. You're just like me, trash. So let's kick it off. First one, we've got A Bug's Life.
It's been a while since I've seen A Bug's Life.
I love A Bug's Life. It has been a while, but
I don't love it. I don't hate it. I would say for me, it's right in the middle.
Yeah.
I
Rate your
think it,
average tier.
yeah, it helps that Ants came out like the exact same time, and I like it more than Ants.
Yeah.
So it, like, I would say it's a lot better than Ants, so it helps that. But Ants isn't here, so we don't have to worry about that.
Yep. I also have fond memories, and this might conflate it a little bit for me. I have fond memories of playing the original PlayStation game of A Bug's Life as well. So it's like, A Bug's Life, yes. All those good times in my life. But it has been years since I've seen it.
So where would you put it?
I don't know. I think this might be a good middle ground like starting point.
Yeah,
You know? I'm thinking I've never disappointed anyone before. Because nobody's
yeah.
ever expected anything of me.
And I think if you think of this movie, that's exactly your reaction.
Yeah.
It's like I wouldn't have expected anything from A Bug's Life, and I am not disappointed.
Yep. All right. Next, we've got Wally.
To infinity and beyond.
Yeah, this is, I mean, come on. This is
Yeah,
one of the
Wally's
best
goated.
movies. One of the best movies that Pixar ever made
Mm-hmm.
is Wally. So,
What order is this listed in?
completely random. It
I was
was
gonna
in
say.
it was original release order, and then I mixed it up pretty heftily.
I was gonna say because this
Oop.
next one, I was like, in what way is
Hold,
Cars
please.
2?
Okay, what is going on here?
What happened?
It's just being stupid. There we go.
We good?
Yeah, we are good. Oh, nope. Now we're good. Okay.
You sure?
Yes. All right. Next, Cars 2.
Yeah. How is Cars 2 following Wally 3 or Wally?
Wally 3. Holy
I
shit.
wish. Of all the movies that have gotten sequels, how are we not on Wally?
Wally
3?
needs 2. Cars 2 is not great.
No. We could put that thing right back.
Is it trash?
Ooh.
Is it trash? I mean, I think of Cars. I liked Cars 3. I liked Cars. I've seen Cars 2 once all the way through and then bits and pieces when it's on TV, and I never enjoy it. Like, I never am like, yeah, oh yeah, Cars 2. I'll watch Cars 2.
I feel like I've also seen it, like, I've seen it maybe once or twice, like, on my own, and then I've seen it, like, a bunch of times, like, at the dentist or at, like, the
Yeah,
doctor's.
right. It is a
So
a mid-tier dentist office movie.
it's very much like you're at, like, a child's dentist and, like, all right, the kid over, like, 3 chairs down wanted this on, so all the TVs are synced up.
Yep.
I will say it's cool to introduce a new concept
Mhm.
besides just racing or like
Yeah.
having the whole spy element, but it
It's Cars. I mean, come on.
just make it racing.
Yeah.
I'd say we could put it trash.
Trash. All right. Next, we've got Coco, which I this is tough. This is really tough for me.
Mhm.
Cuz like Coco's great. But is it as good as Wall-E, or is it just a step down from, or is it in the same, on the lower end of that top tier, or is it on the high end of the second tier?
I have not seen Coco yet,
Oh god, so this is on me?
so this is on you.
Oh no.
Personally, I would hold Wally in like such a high regard that
I mean, Coco is a phenomenal story. It tells an
Mhm.
amazing story of family and not forgetting where you come from, and the music is good and the characters are good. And I'm talking myself into To Infinity and Beyond. I really am. I think it has to go there. Coco.
Listen.
To Infinity. I'd say if there was like a spectrum of the top tier, it's like Wally is at the like up towards the top, and then Coco is like more towards the back end of it. But
see,
it's still
the
really good.
only thing is, I like my top tier to be an exclusive club.
Interesting.
If you think that it's like, the meme of the guy like standing at the door, like, are you in or are you out?
Yeah.
Like, does it meet the criteria of being allowed into this VIP?
I'd say it does.
All right, then it could stay.
I say it does. It's maybe just getting in. It's not like A-lister status.
It's like, oh, you know the owner, you're in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right.
Yeah.
Elemental.
Haven't seen it yet.
Elemental, okay, I will go on about this. I think Elemental sits pretty comfortably in that middle tier.
Okay.
Is this very, very easily could have been one of the greatest Pixar movies ever made. Very easily, if they just change a few things. But they focus very, very heavily on the romance between the two main characters, and that to me is not where the interesting part of the story lies. I mean, it's imagine Zootopia, but with the elements. You know how Zootopia is like this vast city of
Like region and so.
right, with region, it's very much like that. This city, this elemental city, has like the air elemental region and the fire elemental region, and the fire elementals are immigrants who came to the country or this land after the rest of the elements had established, so they were kind of given this poor neighborhood. And it's like there's so many amazing parallels to urban development and real, but they don't do enough with that. They focus too much on this love story between the two different elements. So for me, just for that, I think it's still good, but it's not where it could be. It's very average.
Okay.
All right, Luca. Have you seen Luca? Because I have seen 20 minutes of Luca.
There's a point where like there's just a dead spot for Pixar movies for
It's
me.
like pandemics, the pandemic.
Yeah. Like once like the pandemic started, I kind of just like it's kind of funny. I look back at my Letterboxd because when I did my horror like top 10 of this decade, I was looking back. I've like watched no 2020 releases. Just in general.
Interesting.
2021 was even like slim pickings too, but like I just have not watched a ton of movies from then.
Well, I think purely for the fact that you have not seen it. I have seen 20 minutes of it and then have not gone back to it, or have not had the desire to go back to it. I think for that alone, it's gonna have to go mid tier.
That's fine.
Because I can't accurately judge it, but I can say that I haven't wanted to go back to it to finish it. So
yeah.
All right, Soul. Have you seen Soul? Okay. Well, I promise that this is not how this whole tier list is gonna go.
No, because we're about to start getting into movies I have seen.
Okay.
I promise.
But Soul is a movie for me, like what Wall-E is for you.
Yeah.
This was on my top 25 movies. I personally think that this is the best Pixar movie that they've ever done. Soul is incredible. It is everything that you want a Pixar movie to be. It's fun, it's whimsical, but also it's deep and introspective, and it's emotional, and it's heavy, and it's all framed around jazz music, which I love. I mean, obviously, La La Land is amazing too, and I love that movie. But Soul takes it to a totally different plane of existence, literally, and it's amazing. So I am giving it to infinity and beyond. It's easily above Coco for me. All right, here we go. Finding Nemo.
Now.
Oh boy.
I don't know if it's a hot take. It's not to infinity and beyond for me.
Really?
Yeah. It's a tier below.
Interesting. That's tough, man.
Again, I did not have as like big of an emotional connection to it as I did with Wally.
Mm.
And that I have to, like I was saying, it to Infinity and Beyond is exclusive. Like
Mm-hmm.
these movies are like our favorites. Like it's one of the best they've ever made.
Yeah.
I would say Finding Nemo is a great movie. I know like a lot of people are gonna say no, it is one of the best they've ever made, but I think it's fine just saying it's a great movie. And it
Look,
is something.
our second tier is it. We are some. It's giving something that we've searched for our whole life.
It's a great story about fatherhood. And maybe when I become a father, it will hit on a whole new level. But we're not there yet. So I'm anchoring down in the
Okay.
second tier.
Okay. I'll give that to you. I'll give
Besides,
it
you
to you.
guys,
I think
you
you're
guys are
wrong.
flowing it.
I think you're wrong, but I
The
will give
problem
it to
is we would put so many movies into Infinity and Beyond, and it just
you.
dilutes it.
I don't know. I don't know though.
We would have so many Toy Stories in there.
See, I don't know. I know I'd have at least 2 Toy Stories in there for sure.
That's literally half of them.
You know what? You make a good point. All right, next we've got Onward.
I haven't seen it.
Onward is fun. I say it's a solid middle tier movie. Some people don't like it as much. I think it's fun. It kind of leans into the Dungeons and Dragons style fantasy, which is cool. And it's got Chris Pratt and Tom Holland, which is, it's there. It works. I have good memories of watching this movie. My mom and I, when I was living back at home during like height of the pandemic, I was working full time. She was working full time, obviously, and we were both working from home full time. So every day during lunch, we would come downstairs, and for a half hour, we would eat lunch together and watch something on TV. And that was how we experienced the Michael Jordan documentary. That came out during the pandemic. We watched it in half-hour increments over the course of multiple weeks at lunch, and it was amazing. And we also watched Onward that way in half-hour increments. It was not the first time I'd seen it, but it was the first time she had seen it, and it was like one of those memories that I won't forget. So I think for that reason, I can't put it any lower than mid-tier, but I don't think it goes any higher than mid-tier.
That's perfectly fine with me.
Okay. Toy Story 2.
Toy Story 2 is a phenomenal movie.
Toy Story 2 is one of the best movies ever.
Yeah. I don't know if we need to say more.
It just goes right to that top tier.
Literally, it just does everything that made like Toy Story so lovable and just expands on characters. Adds a phenomenal like villain that they didn't really have in the first, and really just fleshes everything out.
Yes, and this is one of those movies that like if you see Toy Story 2 walking up to get into the club, you're like, oh, hello, sir, and you just let them walk right in.
You're pushing Toy Story out of the way and like,
whoa, you gotta wait in line.
It's like, excuse you,
yes.
Toy Story 2, come on in.
You walk up, it's like, oh, I'm on the list. Toy Story. It's like, Toy Story. Yeah, you got to. I mean, you got to get in line. No. Toy Story 2. It's like, oh, my apologies, sir. Your table is ready for you. Well,
yeah,
go ahead.
It's like in what was it? Summer House, or what was the summer one where
Summer Rental?
Summer Rental, where he's waiting in line, and as soon as he's about to get his table, the boating champ walks in. He's like, oh. No, you wait.
Yeah,
you sir, come
your
on
table
in.
is ready, and here's the last lobster for you.
The last lobsters for you.
Hey, if they had never gotten denied at that restaurant, they would have never won the boating competition.
They would have never learned the value of family.
Yes. But what are we doing talking about Summer Rental?
I didn't even know the name of the movie, and we reviewed it.
Yeah. All right, next, Monsters University.
So, Monsters University is a very good movie.
I love this movie.
And I love it too. And I think this is something that Pixar I think it's a personal like connection with Pixar where the timing of their movies like lined up perfectly with our lives where this movie came out like as we were like about to go to college or in college.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, oh, I get a perfect movie for us.
Yeah. And it was
And
exciting and relatable at the same time.
exactly. Taking characters we already knew and giving us like the backstory of their lives and seeing them in a new environment, seeing how they got to where we knew them and loved them. So I would say that's something we've been searching for our whole lives.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. All right.
Wow, look at this. All right, Up. Do we need to talk about it?
All
Up,
the
up,
way
up,
up.
up, 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 bam! Right into To Infinity and Beyond. I mean, what
We
else
might have
is
to-
what else
yeah,
is
it
there to
might have
say
to
about
tier
Up?
higher.
No, I mean, it might. No. Up is just, I mean, from that opening montage that absolutely breaks your heart
hmm
to the entire rest of the movie that just builds it all back up together again. I mean, there's not enough good things you can say about Up.
Yeah, it's just one of
Pixar
the most beautiful movies ever made.
Pixar cooked in this stretch of time from like 2000 to 2010 was like they could not miss. Everything that they did was absolute heat.
hmm I completely agree.
All right.
All right.
Cars.
I like Cars.
I do too.
I don't think it's anything special, but it did have a very lasting impact.
Yeah, Cars is good. I Am Speed.
Speed.
Owen Wilson is great.
Mater.
This was really like one of my first introductions to Owen Wilson,
hmm
which is wild.
Yeah.
I love him. I love Owen Wilson. Always have. So, there's that.
I feel like it's just one of those movies, though. Like, if you gave me the option, I just don't know if I'd rewatch it.
Really? I would,
Yeah.
and I'd like it,
Or-
but it's not like.
Well, that's the thing. Like, if you gave me every single movie on this list, it's low on like the I'll pick that over. Like, I picked like a sixth rewatch of Wall-E before a first rewatch.
Hmm.
But I think it's definitely no lower than the middle tier.
Yeah, I was gonna say up one like up to second tier, but it sounds like you
Yeah.
want to put it in mid tier.
Well, no, it could be up in the
Okay.
something we search for because it
Okay.
did do a lot about like slowing down, humility, being
Yeah.
humbled.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. I do, and it was well done too. I mean,
Oh,
there were some
absolutely.
amazing characters: Tow Mater, Slade McQueen, Doc Hudson, all great characters.
hmm
So, all right, next, Cars 3. Now,
Cars 3 is a tough one because I know I've seen it. I just can't remember a single thing about it.
Cars 3, I did not see when it came out. I hadn't seen for a very long time until like probably 2 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago. Watched it for the first time and have not watched it since. It's fine. It's not great. It's not terrible, but like it's not trash. It's better than Cars 2, but I don't know. It's just it's not great.
Yeah.
I think
don't
this is
know.
my first one where we can put it back where it came from. Personally.
I was literally just gonna say I feel like we're not gonna really touch that category, but yeah, if you want to put it there, like, I can't say anything about it.
I think so. It's just like it didn't need to be made. Cars 2 definitely didn't need to be made. But Cars 3, out of all the movies to get 3, why?
Mm-hmm. I gotta let my cat out real quick.
All right, I'll vamp for a sec. So, Cars 3, if you didn't know. No, Cars 3 is fine. I like the introduction of new characters. I don't really care for a lot else that it has to do with. the like the whole rest. I mean, Cars 1 is the best. It tells a whole story, and that's it. You don't need. They could have ended it at Cars 1. Cars 3 doesn't need to exist. Cars 2 definitely doesn't need to exist.
I feel like that's just a problem with a lot of franchises. Is hey, it makes money.
Yeah,
How far can we stretch this?
It would be like making Ratatouille 2, but like Ratatouille goes to America and his food is obsolete, so then he learns to make Southern barbecue with a real Southern rat. Like it's like what? Why do we need this?
Remy has a son who doesn't want to.
Anyways, speaking of Ratatouille, we've got Ratatouille next on the list.
Awesome.
Ratatouille is one of the best movies ever.
I've
said that a couple times.
We've said that so often.
I'm telling you, man. 2001 to 2010 Pixar, absolute heat. They cooked.
Like,
almost as much as they did in Ratatouille.
Yeah, literally.
No, Ratatouille is up there with Up and Toy Story 2 and WALL-E for me in Soul. Yeah. I just rewatched it too, and it is just incredible. Amazing story, amazing characters. Just could not be better.
Mm-hmm.
The Good Dinosaur is next.
Have not seen it.
Neither have I. I've heard it's not good though.
Yeah, I have also heard the same.
I'm gonna put that thing back where it came from, or so help me.
Sight unseen.
Sight unseen. Look, didn't need to be made. Obviously, people don't like it. It never gets talked about ever when it comes to Pixar. Put it back.
Yeah.
Just put it back. If you're thinking about picking it up on the shelf, put it back.
Let's see what the Letterboxd score is. Good Dinosaur. It's a 2.9, so it's average. Let's see if I can find a good review.
Well, that'll be
one top review I see 1.5 stars. At least it's pretty.
Oof.
So,
all right, put it back where it came from, or so help me.
Yep.
All right, next we've got Inside Out 2.
So, do you want to just talk about them? They're both right next to each other.
Yeah.
I think Inside Out, the first one is elite.
Interesting.
I think the second one is a step down.
Yes. I personally, I think that they are two ends of the same tier. Because I wouldn't put Inside Out as like top tier Infinity and Beyond. Personally, I wouldn't do that. But
honestly, neither would I.
But it's not like to think about Inside Out 2, which is clearly worse in my opinion. Or no, not clearly. Sorry, I shouldn't say clearly. It is not as good. It's still excellent, but not as good as Inside Out 1. But it's not like tier down. It's not average, It's still very good.
Yeah.
But it tells a complete story, and it's like Inside Out 1 was so unique in that it told this brand new story, and then Inside Out 2 brought some really, really interesting and fresh ideas to a story that was largely the same.
Mm-hmm.
I think is what I'm getting at.
Yeah, it's hard to, because unlike a lot of these other ones, there definitely is room to tell like another story there of like your emotions change as you grow up. So yeah, you're going to be introduced to anxiety and embarrassment, even though, let's be honest, you're feeling those things regardless of age.
All the time. All the time,
even
man.
if you don't really know what they are, you feel them.
Yep.
But it is something that I do think it definitely warranted a sequel, but yeah, I do think largely they do follow the same plot structure.
Yes, they do.
Of like, oh, they just got to get back to the room, and here's their wacky journey, and here's Riley's life kind of going to shit while it's happening.
And it's a great story.
Yeah, no, it's a great story. I don't mean to like poo-poo it, but
yeah, so great we did it twice.
Exactly. With some spice this time around.
Yeah. All right. It's funny too because it was like, hey, the first one it was joy and sadness that had to get back to the action, and this time sadness is there and the rest of the emotions aren't. Whoa!
Wacky.
Whoa! No, it's fine. All right, Brave.
I like Brave.
I've not seen Brave, so this one's all you.
It's- Okay. This is bad because I haven't seen Brave in a while. But I do like that it's one of those movies where I get that people the worst type of people didn't like it because it tells like a strong like woman story
Mhm.
about like she doesn't want to be a princess, she doesn't want to be married off, she just wants to be her own person. She wants to be the soldier. I personally love that story. Uh I thought that it had a lot of like tense moments to it. It was a good family story about her trying to reunite with her family. Had good comedic moments too. I don't know where I would put it though. I kind of personally, this might be a hot take.
Oh,
I'd say it's low end. You gave me something I was searching for.
interesting. Okay. Okay. I will say right now, M is going to absolutely hate us because this is like one of her favorite movies.
I was gonna say we should like a call to the bullpen, like have her.
Do you want me to? Do you want me to call
Yeah.
call to the bullpen here? Here,
Call to
let
the
me.
bullpen, bring in the righty.
Yeah, let me call her on
Who's
pod.
that? Who's that music? I love it because she's just like down the hall.
I know.
It's quicker if you just open your door and shout.
Hello.
Hey, we're making a call to the bullpen. We need you.
Okay.
Where are you?
I'm coming.
Okay.
Where am I?
I didn't. It sounded like you were in your car for a minute. All right. We're doing a Pixar tier list. Okay, and we've come to the movie Brave. So we wanted your opinion. Come here.
Top tier.
Come talk. So,
Give her the.
I
headset.
have not seen Brave. Here, I will give you the headset. I have not seen Brave. Connor has seen Brave. He is putting it in the second to top tier, on the low end of the second to top tier.
No.
So,
Yeah,
give me
figured.
your opinions.
The soundtrack is slapping and bussin'. It has a good female character who don't need no mans either.
what I was saying.
By the way, she's got a cool ass horse. Her dad's a dilf. The mom is also a milf. And I feel like they incorporated the siblings into a good, not annoying, like they're more ally based, but they do have their ways of coercing the main character via food. And then I do like the whole getting the mom out of bear form and then bonding through that way instead of like the mom is like an evil character. It's not portrayed like that. Like I feel like the majority of Disney or Pixar movies have like a mom that's awful or like they don't like have a great relationship or like both parents are out of the picture, blah blah blah. So I find that they don't do that way. So I would rate it. And yeah, I mean the soundtrack's just really good too.
All
So
right.
I'd give it 2 in quote infinity and beyond.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. And Merida has tits that won't quit and an ass that
Alright.
gives.
All right.
Well, were you convinced, Connor? Because I was.
Yes.
Yeah, there it is. All right.
We got the expert involved.
Yep, the expert
We
came
can't
in.
change that.
Yep. All right. Next on the list is Lightyear.
Yeah, we could put that in trash.
Yeah,
Um,
Lightyear's not great, man.
So first off, if you say Lightyear's trash just because there's a picture of two women kissing,
Awful.
shut the
Worst
fuck up.
worst kind of person.
It's trash because it does fucking nothing to explore like who Buzz Lightyear is.
Mm-hmm.
Does nothing to do like who Scourge is, or whatever his name is. I forgot.
Yeah.
Is it Scourge?
I don't know.
Whoever the big bad is in like the Buzz Lightyear lore.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, it's him. Spoiler. It's a very forgettable movie. I get it. It came out during the pandemic too, so that doesn't help it be like memorable, but it was just something where it just wasn't well written. The effect, like visually, it didn't do anything to stand out. Chris Evans, like, I mean, getting Tim Allen to like reprise the voice wasn't gonna make it any better, but I know that some people really would have preferred it.
Yeah.
Again, I don't really care.
It just like it just sits. I sit there and look. I was like, why does this exist?
It
and-
doesn't need to exist.
No, there's no reason for it to even be a movie.
No. I get wanting to explore this character, like who he was before, like a toy, but I don't even know if this is an exploration of who he was before a toy. I don't know, or if it's just
It's an exploration of the origin of the character Buzz Lightyear, not the
Yeah.
toy Buzz Lightyear,
yeah,
which is confusing in itself, anyways.
Yeah.
And that's how they explained like why Chris Evans is the voice and not Tim Allen. It's like, oh well, it's based on the character of Buzz Lightyear. It's not the toy, but that's like code for we couldn't pay Tim Allen or he didn't want to do it, so we had to get Chris
I
Evans.
think it's code for we don't agree with the stuff that Tim Allen's saying at the time.
Yeah, but then they're gonna do another Toy Story, and it's like, oh well,
Yeah.
well whatever. I mean,
Hey Tim, sorry, we
hey man,
We can-
Tim, we
we
noticed
can
you make
excuse
us a
this.
lot of money.
yeah. Speaking of Tim,
Speaking of Tim, hey, look, Tim Allen, whatever, man. He's probably like the least problematic dude out of all the problematic, quote unquote, problematic people that are out there right now.
I refuse to comment on.
I don't know, man. I mean, look, I have a bias because I love the Santa Claus. That's like my favorite Christmas movie. But look, I mean, sure, he, got busted for cocaine a long time ago and ratted out everyone he's ever dealt for. Hey, look, I mean, if you're gonna fuck up, you might as well go down with the ship, am I right? Moving on to another Tim Allen spectacle, Toy Story 3.
I think the fact that there's a Toy Story 4 dampens the mood of Toy Story 3, but it's still,
Interesting.
It's still to infinity and beyond for me.
Oh, for sure.
Because again, like I was saying with Monsters University, when this came out, it was at a point of our lives where we were growing up.
Yes.
We had moved past the point of like having toys, and like a lot of things from our childhood weren't the same to us anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a movie about like moving on from your childhood and embracing adulthood.
And at the same, this was one of the movies. Admittedly, I didn't go to the movie theater a lot growing up. My family didn't have a ton of money to spend on stuff like that. We didn't have a theater super close to us. Like the closest one was like at least 20 minutes away. And, tickets, even back in 2010, 2008, tickets were not cheap to go to the movies. I mean, comparatively now to then, yeah. But for a family of four to go to the movies, it was
Still
not
run
super.
to a bill.
Yeah, right. It's still a $40, $50, $60 trip when you factor in you got to get 4 tickets. Everyone's going to want popcorn. Everyone's going to want drinks, So we didn't go to the movie theater a ton.
Mhm.
But I remember going to see Toy Story 3. That was like a big moment for me. And it still doesn't feel like it's been 14 years since this movie came out. That's how much of a lasting impact it's had. And I watched it the other week, and I still cried at the end. So,
Yeah. Yeah, it's one of those movies that I think as long as you exist, it will make you
Yes.
tear up.
Yes. I have to add an addendum to Brave.
Yes.
Em is sending me more stuff, so I'm gonna show it on screen. She sent me a GIF of Brave. You can't really see it, but she said in all caps, and she has a bow and arrow that she can shoot on a fucking horse.
She
So-
is gifted with it.
Yeah. All right, moving on. Monsters Inc.
I think Monsters Inc. is very good as well. I would say it's definitely.
This one
second
might
tier.
be top tier for me.
Whew.
I know we look.
Uh,
Hey, Pixar's really good. Pixar's really good.
Pixar is really good. It's tough because like the characters themselves are incredibly memorable.
Yeah.
The plot of the movie is very good, except I find myself forgetting like half of it.
Mm.
And things I remember, the only things I remember is like, okay, they got booed, they just gotta get her back.
Yeah. I
And
mean,
there's Randall, and that's it.
I think what can happen with a lot of movies, and the next one we'll talk about too, kind of suffers the same thing. Is like this early to mid 2000s stretch. Animated movies were like no longer than an hour and a half, and they were a tight hour and a half. So a movie like Monsters Inc. had a very drawn out beginning to set the stage and like establish who the characters are and what this world we live in, which Pixar is so good at doing. But then the ending is also a long stretch of climax where they're, this big fight with all the doors and all this, and all that.
Very cool.
Which is awesome, but it leaves very little in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
It does. And so you get, a few scenes and it works. But it's like if this movie was an hour and 50 minutes long and you had an extra 20 minutes to expand in the middle, I think this would be one of the best movies ever.
Also, I don't know if I want an extra 20 minutes.
Ooh, I do. Give me more Billy Crystal and John Goodman.
That's fair. You want to put it to Infinity and Beyond.
Look, I think I will concede to your notion. It's still very good. It's still one of the better ones, but I will concede to that notion that it is not top tier. All right, Toy Story.
I don't know if I'm gonna break some hearts again, but I think it's same place.
Yeah, oh yeah, no, I totally agree with you. It's not as good as the second one or the third one. But again, it's plagued by the issue of it's a tight hour 30, hour 25. Like this movie's short.
Yeah.
And
Because I saw it with Aaryn for like our 1 year at a drive-in, and I was just thinking like while we were watching, I was like, oh yeah, like all this stuff happens.
guess how long Toy Story is?
2 hours.
No,
Hour 10.
hour 17.
Jeez.
It is short. I mean, but that's
again-
also the limitations of the time. I mean, this movie was made in 1995, and it was
But it's one of those-
revolutionary.
Yeah. It's one of those, like you were just saying, it's like big intro, big exit, middle. Like I remember they're at the pizza place,
Pizza place,
and I
Sid's
remember they're at
house.
Sid's house.
Yeah,
That's it.
I mean that's really
then-
it.
Yeah.
They got Pizza Planet, they got Sid's house, they've got the ending where they're trying to get on the moving truck. That's
That's
it.
it.
That's it.
That's all we need.
Yep.
Yeah.
And yeah, all right. So I'm
It's definitely top of something we've been searching for.
yeah. Say it's right there with Finding Nemo.
Yeah.
All right. Turning Red.
I haven't seen it.
I'm gonna get controversial with this one. Did not like Turning Red. I liked it. I liked it up until the end, and I think it made some choices that like if you were like cruising along on the freeway, and it's like, yeah, you and Turning Red's in the passenger seat. You're having a good time. You're listening to music. You're singing along. Life is a highway. It's blaring. It's blasting. And then all of a sudden, you open the door and kick Turning Red out as you're about to get off the exit ramp. You're like, get out. So
What happens?
So the whole movie is this story of like it's this girl who discovers that she turns into a red panda like at various points. She's not like a permanently kind of thing, but it's like her family's history is that, her family was always been able to turn into red pandas. And it's a cool exploration of Asian culture and that sort of thing. And this does a lot of really interesting stuff. It's got great characters and an interesting narrative. And then in the end, it's supposed to be like, yeah, and you can accept who you are, because this whole time she's trying to get rid. She hates being a red panda. She's trying to get rid of it, and up until the end, it's like, she doesn't want to do it, and then she has to turn into the red panda to fight a big bad, and her family comes together, and they all turn into red pandas because they've been suppressing that ability with certain like magical items that they wear. And it's like, oh, it's all about accepting who you are and loving yourself and all of that. And at the very end, the family is like, after this girl has this big, long, heartfelt speech of like, yes, we can be these. We don't have to suppress who we are, and we can be these people, and we can learn to live with both halves of ourselves. And the family's like, yeah, that's great for you, but we're gonna go back to suppressing this thing and living the life we were living. And then they all walk away. I'm like, what the hell?
What happened to the message?
The whole movie was building up to this moment, and then they're like, nah, man, we're
That's
good.
cool for you.
That's cool for you, man. I'm like, huh? What's going
You
on
can
here?
live your truth.
Yes, exactly. And it was just like, so then you get this like, whole thing is like, okay, she's doing great living her life, but like the rest of the family is like, nah, dude, we don't like this. We really don't like this thing. So good luck with that, but we're over here. And it's like, what are we doing? So for me, it throws it all the way down into the second to bottom tier for me. And it's strictly for that reason. It has nothing to do with anything else, because people hated on this movie unjustly for the fact that it depicted Asian American families and that culture, and it's ridiculous to trash on a movie for that same reason for Lightyear. You're the worst kind of human if that's your opinion. But for me, that's why this movie, I will not revisit this movie. I just don't like that ending message. All right. I gave you the Cliff Notes version of Turning Red.
Yeah.
All right, Incredibles 2.
So, I just saw it for the first time this year.
Oh.
Wasn't the biggest fan.
I agree with that.
It just didn't. It's one of those movies where, like, I just didn't connect with it.
It would have been cooler if it was still structured around the family plus Frozone.
Yeah.
I didn't need all the other supers introduced because all right, scratch that. I could have lived with it if they made them cool, but the characters are way too goofy. They're too kid friendly. They're too like, oh, look, this guy can burp acid. Whoa!
Look at this person. They can juggle with their portals.
Yeah, it's like, it's too much.
Yeah. I thought like the whole screenslaver was like kind of a stupid villain. Like it had cool moments, but it was like the boomer memes of kids and their technology these days are always just looking at their screens. And
Yeah, right.
Why don't they pick up a book in the real world?
Yep.
And it just didn't work.
Where are we putting it?
Put that thing back.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah.
The original Incredibles, however.
That's something I've been searching for.
Yeah, it's very good. I mean, such a cool concept. It's like, and you got to think too, this was before superheroes became mainstream. Now, mainstream. You can make a superhero movie and it's like, okay, that's whatever, But this was crazy. This was a huge deal that superhero movies were getting this attention. And it's great. Every character was unique. They had unique characteristics. Mr. Incredible is awesome. I love Mr. Incredible. Elastigirl, great. Yeah, it's just everyone.
I will say, this movie introduced the plague of the Pixar mom.
Yes. Yes, it did.
It has done irreparable
damage.
Irreparable damage on men and women alike. So he's out of perfect.
Yes. All right, Toy Story 4. Second to last movie.
I haven't seen this one.
Oh, interesting. Toy Story 4 is fun. I won't deny it. It's a fun movie. You watch it. Forky is an incredible character that is straight out of a child's mind in the best way. Mm-hmm. I love it. And you gotta see it. I mean, truly. I think it's a good movie. You've seen the first three. This would be a good movie for you and Aaryn to sit down on one evening and just watch it together. Mm-hmm. And on that note, is not as good as the rest of them. It's not.
I mean, I kind of feel like the whole problem with Toy Story is you had. So I guess it's a question for you. Does it warrant its existence after Toy Story 3?
Yes.
Okay.
I think you hit the nail on the head that it definitely cheapens the ending of Toy Story 3 because that ended perfectly. It was beautiful. But this, admittedly, they do a good job of expanding the story to the next chapter. You know, what happens after Andy's gone. Mm-hmm. And I like it. I do. But I just don't think it's as good as the rest of the series. But is it bad? No. So for me, Toy Story 4 is a middle tier. Like high end of mid tier.
Okay.
I think that's fair. I think it's really, truly fair. And the send-off to Toy Story 4 is also excellent. Now they're making Toy Story 5.
I was going to say, does the existence of Toy Story 5 do the same thing for Toy Story 4?
We will see, but man, they are milking it.
At what point do we just have to say enough?
I think the first time that they put together a bad... Because the thing is, like, as much as it doesn't need to exist, Toy Story 4 is still good. And they have some really good ideas and some new characters that really matter and a good story. So it's like, yes, okay, I get it. Milk that cash cow. But the first one, that's like, okay, this one's stupid. That's it. That's the cutoff line. You cannot keep going after that.
Do you think that was Lightyear, though? Or do you think Lightyear was the first time they were like, all right, let's see if we can do the spin-off of like, hey, let's see if it doesn't have to be a Toy Story movie. Let's see if we could do something with like Woody. And it was a resounding no.
Yeah,
like,
that might be
back.
True. That might be true.
We got to go back.
Yeah.
As long as they don't do the whole corporate thing of like, we got to just stick with what we know. We can't do... We could do original ideas, but we have to keep within an IP. Otherwise, we won't make any money. Our billion-dollar corporation won't make any money.
Shucks. All right, let's go to the last movie on our list. It's Finding Dory.
You want to talk about prime dentist watching?
I
don't think I've watched this movie in its entirety.
Really? I've seen it one time in its entirety.
I've seen bits and pieces.
Hey, man, look, it's not bad. It's not bad. Good, it's definitely not on the same tier as Finding Nemo, I'll tell you that much.
I feel like just by that reaction, it can't be higher than 3.
Oh, it's not higher than 3. Trust me on that one.
Okay, good.
It is. Look, is it bad? No. No, it's not. It's interesting. They do something unique with a new setting that works. I know we talked about like with Cars 3, like, hey, it doesn't really make sense for this to exist. But this one makes sense. It's on a surface level, it's, it makes sense. Dory wants to find who his parents are. Because he has they set it up great with this memory loss thing in the beginning, and I think it works. But again, you could have just left it at the first one, guys. I mean, come on.
And this is before Ellen was revealed to be a bad person.
Yes, this was prior to the downfall of Ellen DeGeneres, which is a shame too, because I always admired her. I thought she was very funny comedian, and now it's like, but everyone in Hollywood, for the most part, isn't a great person.
Listen, rule of thumb, don't fall in love with anyone.
Yeah,
that is like a celebrity.
They say don't meet your heroes.
Yeah, everyone's got skeletons in their closet.
Look, at least she's not a sexual predator. She's just not a very good boss. Which, if you think about it, there's a lot of those out there. No, I'm not justifying anything that any of her actions at all, but still. Finding Dory's mid-level. To wrap it all back together.
To get back, we need Sam.
I know.
Get back on track.
Oh my god. All right. Well, that's going to do it for this tier list. I'm not going to go through all of our tiers, but we'll post it. You'll be able to see it if you're watching this episode. But yeah, no, that's going to do it for this episode. If you like what you listen to, leave a rating, subscribe, follow us on your favorite podcast platform. Do all that fun stuff. Yeah, it was really great. It was a lot of fun doing this episode. And we hope you listen again. Sorry, I was middle of doing stuff, so my brain was just talking. My brain was totally on autopilot. Yeah. No, if you like this episode, like I said, do all that fun stuff. Visit our website. Go. It's firstpicturehouse.com for new articles. You can follow us on Twitter at FilmboxPod. You can go to our TikTok. We're posting more TikToks. I'm doing a lot of posting on TikTok, talking about all kinds of stuff. I'm trying to post something every day, or at least 5 days a week, if I can. Hopefully a little bit more often. I'm just trying to do it as much as possible. So if you like that kind of stuff, go to the TikTok, follow us on there. It'll be linked in the show notes. It's, I believe, at FilmboxPod on TikTok, so it's like really easy to find us there. And we're also on a whole bunch of other social media. We're on Blue Sky, because who knows with Twitter? Who knows? So you can follow us there. And follow us on Letterboxd too. You can keep it up with what we're watching. Sam's not here, so you can still see what he's watching. Connor watches a lot of movies. I'm coming up in December. I'm doing 25 days of Christmas movies, so you can follow me along there for that. So it's going to be super fun. And yeah, that's going to do it. Connor, do you have movies for us this week?
Yeah, the list is back.
The list is back.
Aaron, pick two numbers, 1 through 18.
14 and 5.
All right. I'm watching Under the Skin
and
The Color of Money.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Stay tuned for Connor's thoughts next week, and we'll see you next time on the Filmbox Podcast.
See ya.